Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm a coach with BrainFit Academy, and I'm also a teacher. I'm here with my colleague Brianna, and we're here to talk to you a little bit today.
Hi, Amy. Thanks. Yeah, so as Amy said, my name is Brianna. I am a life coach and also a coach with BrainFit Academy. And just to give you a little background on what we do and who we are, BrainFit is a movement-based, goal-oriented program. We work with kids and families that are struggling with anxiety, ADHD, learning challenges. We focus on the root cause of issues through multiple lenses. We teach tools and strategies that help kids and their parents just move through life a little bit easier. And we also help to improve that emotional balance and connection for families.
So why are we here? So we know that this is a stressful time for everyone, and especially teachers. And, I'm a teacher, but I'm also a mom. And we wanted to talk a little bit about our mom, situation first. I have two teenagers. I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. And my 14-year-old is on the autism spectrum, and he needs a lot of support with his schoolwork. They're now in this mandatory learning phase, and he needs help with his organization and all of that. So, so I'm managing my household, I'm managing my work. My husband also works from home, and now we're home with him. And we're just in this new uncharted territory, all of us as moms and teachers and everything, and we're just trying to find our way. And we wanted to just get on and talk to you a little bit about what are some things we can do. And Brianna, I know you're a mom too. You want to talk a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, I mean, so we've got three kiddos in our house right now. Two are in school, and it's been quite a ride. I think in the very beginning of all of this, we kind of went into a little bit of a panic mode, didn't really know what to expect, didn't know how, to navigate through remote learning and just, being at home and having to constantly entertain and trying to work from home at the same time. It's been tough. And, I know just as a mom, why it's been hard for me, it feels like there's more like 10 kids at home versus just three. But looking at it from the perspective of a teacher and seeing how much they have to do and the emails that I get and that I have to remember to reply to, but also how many are they sending out? So this is just, I know how I feel as a mom. I can't imagine the loop that teachers have been thrown through.
Yeah, and I see it from the teacher side because I am a teacher, but I also see it from, the teachers at my school. I'm the technology teacher at my school, so I'm supporting teachers with the technology they're using. So many of them are, doing Zooms and online platforms and all sorts of things and coming up with new ways. As well as, I'm supporting my own students that I have. And, we see, I see all these amazing things that teachers are doing and coming up with all these creative ideas. And I also see all the crazy things that are happening. Kids are in this state and they don't know what's happening and they're in this flux as well. Teachers are trying to teach curriculum in completely new and different ways that they've never done before. They're managing a home life, and then you've got, kids on Zoom, and you're trying to manage them and have some kind of classroom management when they're in 20 different houses on 20 different screens, and you don't see them every day. And that's hard too. You're not seeing their faces every day anymore coming in. You're probably working long hours, maybe even into the early hours of the night. I'm hearing teachers, staying up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning just to get stuff done or to make connections with families. And then, like Brianna mentioned with the emails, we're getting emails as parents, but then teachers are getting emails from the superintendent and the principals and other teachers and all of this. And it's just, trying to deal with that. And then you probably have some parents who are, some who are praising your every move and saying, I can't believe you, you're wonderful, amazing. And others saying, when are you going to give my kids some more? What's happening? When is the next challenge coming? So there's just so much going on. And we just wanted to acknowledge that we see it. And Brianna, what's your perspective, as a life coach on this?
I think as a life coach, my biggest question is how are you handling these challenges? What is allowing you to, get through your day? As Amy said, you've got emails coming in from all over. You're sending out emails. You're trying to manage your household. you've got so much going on top of, trying to do your job and put as much value into it as you did before. But you're not getting as much of the reward back, right? You don't get to see your kiddos every day. You don't get those positive reinforcements the way you did. So how are you doing? How are you getting through?
So one of the things we wanted to talk about is the idea of the fight, flight, freeze response. So at BrainFit Academy, we think about stress, and when we think about stress, we think about the fight, flight, freeze response. So what is that? So when a body is under severe stress, we have something that's an automatic primitive response, and it happens without even us realizing it. It's a primitive response designed to protect us from threat or danger. Now, think back to our ancestors when we had a tiger behind us, right? We needed that response to help us either fight, right, flight and run away, or to freeze and play dead. So it comes from our ancestors, but it's still alive today. And some things happen when we're in this fight, flight, freeze mode, right? There are physiological responses that happen in the body. There's tension in the back of the body, the neck, the shoulders, the lower back, all the way down into your calf muscles tightens up. Your breathing becomes fast and shallow. It's hard to take a deep breath. Your heart rate increases and blood flow goes to the big muscles ready to fight. Cortisol and adrenaline are released into the body. That's what's keeping you up until 1, 2 in the morning. It's the adrenaline flowing through your body, right? But the problem is that stress, continued stress is not good for our body, right? And our body doesn't know the difference between the tiger that's following us as our ancestors, or other stressors like the parents emailing you 24/7. And the thing is that the other thing we need to understand and remember is that kids are also in this fight, flight, freeze mode, a lot of them, and so are the parents. And so we've got this big, culmination of all of us in this fight, flight, freeze, and trying to work around that and figure out ways to keep going with our day. Brianna, what might this fight, flight, freeze look like in teachers and kids now?
Yeah, so it's this fight, flight, freeze response is a funny thing. It's sort of like our body gets kicked into autopilot, right? We don't have as much control over it. And so you might notice, for kids, are kids muting themselves, right? Are they playing around across the screen, changing their background? Are they interrupting? Are they, seeming to have less control over their behavior than normal? Are they running out of the room, right? So these are some behaviors we notice with the children. And then, teachers, for yourselves, and this is, common even with parents too, but for you, are you yelling? Are you losing your patience with your students? Are you getting overly frustrated? Do you feel like you just want to, check out and stop trying? Are you kind of just sick of, treading water? Do you feel like, the lesson plans were full of energy and you were kind of like full steam ahead in the beginning, and now you're just kind of dwindling down? So noticing these different feelings and these different changes in our body as we go through what we're going through, that's important too.
So, we wanted to get into this fight, flight, freeze response because we always say we're under stress, but we don't always understand what that means for our brains and our bodies. And the other thing that happens is when you're in this state of fight, flight, you can't access your higher level thinking brain. You just can't get there, and kids can't get there either. And we have like the Department of Education saying, yes, the social emotional, health of our students is most important, and that is most important for you. But then they're also saying, well, you should do this and you should do that. And your principal or your superintendent is saying, you should do this and you should do that. And so it's, how do you make sure that social emotional health is good for your students as well as you, so that you can get through your day and make this as good as it can be? So we get it, and we're just trying to help you to understand that that's part of what's happening right now, is that so many of us are in this fight, flight, freeze response. Brianna, this is so emotionally tough for teachers, and I know that you have some thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I think, apart from the stress portion of it, which is pretty high, there's the emotional part, right? And as I said, there's a lot of the rewards that you're not getting now that you used to get. I talked to so many teachers, especially my daughters with the preschool kiddos, their last year preschool. She's like, I'm finally realizing I'm not gonna get to walk into the classroom and see their faces and hear their stories and have them run up and give me hugs. And it's the same for the older kids too. So you're missing out on that. You're stressing and you're feeling kind of you know, just emotionally torn of how do I want my class to feel like a classroom again, right? And you're kind of stuck with this reality that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be like it was. You know, you're trying to also maintain this level of you know, connection and love and care, but you're doing it through a screen, right? And it's really hard. So it's just further adding on to that stress and that emotional challenge for you.
Right. So Brianna, we're talking about all this bad stuff and all this stress that's going on, right? So what can we do about this? So this is where we have some ideas that we'd like to share with you. And the first thing we want to talk about is lighthouses. So if you think about a lighthouse, right, you're on a boat in the ocean and you see this lighthouse and you're guided towards the shore. So what's a lighthouse in a school, right? A lighthouse in a school is those people. It's the people who can help you with certain things. You know, you need help with a social studies lesson. Who is the person in your school, or maybe the school above you or below you or in the, you know, neighboring district, that who's the person who knows that social studies curriculum inside and out? There's always somebody, right? Maybe it's a curriculum leader, or it's just a teacher who's particularly good with social studies. Go to that person and use them as your lighthouse, right? Maybe it's technology. You know, for me, as I said, I'm the technology teacher, so I support teachers as much as I can with the technology piece, and we have a technology department. You know, we're the lighthouse. And so find your lighthouses. As you know, as elementary school teachers, we always think that we teach all the subjects and then we know them all. Nobody can be an expert in everything. So find the lighthouse that, you know, helps you when you need it. And maybe you're a lighthouse. You know, if what are your expertise? What are you good at? Share that. You know, maybe it's just, you know, I'm really good at coming up with ideas for writing, everybody, you know, and let people know that you're there to help them with that. Because if we all chip in and help each other, that's how we're going to get through this. We use each other's strengths to get through, you know. And Brianna, what about lighthouses at home?
Right, right. It's the same thing at home. You know, who is your lighthouse at home? Is it, you know, is it a spouse? Is it a best friend? Is it a relative? Is it a neighbor? You know, who's helping you get through your day? Who's you know, guiding you through, you know, day by day, and getting you through comfortably, getting you through so that you feel, you know, confident that you can do it. And how are you a lighthouse at home also? You know, I think as a mom, as a teacher, you know, as a you know, family member, we have to serve as a lighthouse too. And often when we're in, you know, times like this that we're in right now, like you said, we're a lighthouse, but we forget that, you know, we have them at home. So identify who is your lighthouse at home. It's just as important.
Yeah. And the next thing that's super important is finding balance. You know, you have to have some balance between your work and your home and your personal life. You know, we teachers were thrown into this job like 24/7. We went from, you know, 8 to 3 to 7 in the morning till 10 at night or beyond. And so you have to find a balance between being a mom and a person and being a teacher. And, you know, one of the things that you can do is to really just set a solid stop time for your work. Maybe it's at the end of your school day, you know, 3 o'clock, you say, I'm just going to close my computer down. Or maybe you decide, you know what, you want to go till 5 o'clock when you need to stop and make dinner or something like that. But you have to stop. You have to stop. You have to close your computer, you know, and say, I'm going to revisit this tomorrow. Because, you know, especially if you have kids of your own at home, they need you too. They need you too. And you have to allow yourself some flexibility. So if that means in the middle of the day, if, you know, your 2-year-old is running around without clothes on because you've been on a Zoom call with your class, when you're done with the Zoom call, you know, go be a mom. Go be a mom and come back. You have to take care of you as well.
Yeah. And I think, you know, taking all of what we've said, you know, and kind of putting it together, you know, thinking about what are the stressors? What's the emotional piece? Who is my lighthouse? How am I a lighthouse? How can you take all of these things and meet your needs in a way that allows you to go through your day comfortably, right? You know, some of the things that help is, you know, have control over your plan. Be organized about your plan, right? Put that that sense of certainty and safety into it for yourself. You know, and as much as we need, you know, the certainty, we also need some fun, right? So don't be afraid to have fun throughout the day. Find little ways to add that in. It's super important, right? You need that variety. Also, you know, right now especially, know that you are so important and you are so needed right now, right? So identify those things that make you feel that, right? It's so important for us to have this feeling of significance. It's a need. We have it. We have to have it. So find, how you can get that comfortably, and all of these things will help that day flow a little bit easier for you.
And Brianna, I love how you talked about having fun because, we as teachers, we're in this because we love working with kids, right? And we want to have fun with our classes, so remember to bring in some fun, have a silly hat Zoom session, let kids, make a silly hat out of construction paper and wear it to their Zoom session. Is it going to be distracting? Yes, possibly. But are those kids going to remember that for the rest of their lives? Yes, absolutely. So have some fun with your kids. Don't forget to have fun. Don't get so stressed and so worried about what you're teaching them that you forget to have fun with your class. All right, so then the next thing we want to do, is teach you some tools that you can use to de-stress, because we are under this stressful situation. We talked about the fight, flight, freeze response. And at BrainFit Academy, we use movement to help us to de-stress. And one of the programs we use is a program called Brain Gym. And Brain Gym is a movement-based program that has 26 different movement activities that promote efficient brain organization and can help reduce anxiety. So we're going to teach you 4 right now that you can use to help you de-stress, and you can use these on yourself. You can use them on your own children. You can take them away and use them right away, right? So the first one we're going to teach you is something called positive points. And there's 2 ways to do positive points. I'm going to show you both ways, and I'm going to demonstrate one, and Brianna is going to demonstrate the other. So for positive points, you take your fingertips and you put them right on the your forehead here like this, and you can rest your elbows on a table or a chair, and you can see Brianna is demonstrating the other one with one hand on your head and the other one at the back of your neck. So, and as you hold these points, you can close your eyes if you want to. And as you hold these points, what it does is help to bring blood flow to that higher level thinking brain. So remember that we said that when you're in this state of fight, flight, freeze, it's hard to get to that higher level thinking. And as you're holding these points, you can think positive thoughts, remember a positive memory. And I'm just going to stop talking now, and we're going to just hold these points for about 30 seconds. Take some deep breaths. Okay. So that is a great one, especially when you're starting to just feel a little stress and you just need to center yourself and get back into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is called the Energizer, and I'm going to turn to the side to show you the Energizer. And Brianna will demonstrate what this looks like from the front. So the Energizer is kind of a version of the cat-cow stretch. So if you've ever done yoga and you're familiar with the cat-cow, you may recognize this kind of movement. So what you're doing is you're bringing your head down and your shoulders forward. And then you're going to come back with your head and your shoulders go back. And it's almost like you're trying to touch your shoulder blades together and really open up that chest. And then you come back forward again. And then back. Bring that head back, shoulders together. Open up that chest and come back again. This is really great to do if you've been sitting at a computer for a long time. You've been on multiple Zoom calls or whatever, or you're just doing a lot of work on the computer. Really loosen up those shoulders. All right, and Brianna's going to show you a few now.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is we're going to do belly breathing. And again, I think, for anyone who does yoga, you'll probably be familiar with this. But, sometimes often we forget, how to breathe correctly and really kind of energize and get that oxygen flowing in the body. So what I want you to do is take your hands, put them over your belly button. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in. But when you do that, I want you to feel your belly expanding, okay? Kind of like a balloon. Feel that coming in, and then feel the belly going back in when you breathe out. You really want to draw that air all the way in, all the way down. Let's do just a few belly breaths. And this is a good one to remember too, whenever we are in times of, kind of feeling stressed, because you might notice that sometimes we hold our breath a little bit when we're in that, stressed out emotional mode. So good thing to notice and remember. Another thing that kind of can go with that is called a hookup. And I like hookups because you can do these sitting down like we are. You can do them standing. You can do them laying down. So for right now, because we're all sitting, or we are, we're going to do them sitting. So you're going to take one ankle and cross it over the other. And take your hands and put them out in front of you like this. Put your thumbs down, cross them, rest your hands, and then just curl them up underneath. Okay. Relax your shoulders. I'm going to have you take your tongue and you're going to press it to the roof of your mouth, kind of where you would do like a clicking sound. So do that. And as you sit here, take nice deep belly breaths, breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. And one thing I like to do with these is kind of do a head to toe check on my body. Notice where the tension is and give myself permission to relax. So, starting at the head, relax my eyes, my forehead, relax my shoulders, my neck. Notice if your knees are locked or they feel tight, and let those relax. Notice your legs and your ankles, are you flexing, are you tense? Just relax. And take some nice deep breaths in. Putting your tongue on that roof of your mouth, that's an acupressure point to help us slow that heart rate down and get you back into a nice calming space. And you can switch sides if you want. Cross your ankles over, your hands back out. And just take a couple more belly breaths. And we like to end hookups by taking our hands and just putting your fingertips together like this. Okay. Give yourself a moment to reflect and notice. Do you feel a little pulse between fingertips? If not, it's okay. If you do, great. Just taking those last couple seconds to just relax and reflect.
Thanks, Brianna. So, we've come to the end here, and we hope that you have found this useful. We hope you feel calmer than you were when you started watching, and we hope you take some of these tools and use them throughout your days and your weeks as you go ahead. As a teacher myself, thinking of all of you, you're not alone. Find your lighthouses, find your balance, de-stress. And, BrainFit Academy is here for you as well. We have a YouTube channel that you can visit, and you can see us at brainfitacademy.com. And, as our appreciation for you teachers and what you've done. We've put together a little gift for you. We have a follow along video on our YouTube channel, and there'll be a link at the end of this video to get there, as well as in the description. And check out our other videos on our YouTube channel. But we just want you to know we are here, and we understand what's happening, and we appreciate all of you. And Brianna.
Yeah, I think just what I'd love for you to take away is just to remember to take care of yourself. Appreciate yourself. Give yourself a pat in the back. You're going through a lot. You're trying to tackle a lot, and you deal with a lot of new challenges, and you're doing great. It's not going to look perfect, okay? But it's going to be perfect in its own way. You're still bringing value. You're still doing the best that you can. So look for your lighthouses, as Amy said. Take care of yourself, and you'll get through this. You'll be okay.
We'll all be okay.
You will.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.